Hello, my name is Poe, and welcome to your guide to the new Proud difficulty quest, The Final Vision, where your crew will face against the ultimate foe, Lucilius. Lucilius will be level 200 with no elemental weaknesses, and the recommended power level for this fight is 18,000. To begin this fight, Lucilius will jump into the sky and cast Paradise Lost, which bombards your whole crew with a series of lasers and AoEs. Some lasers are indicated by the regular circle AoEs on the floor, while others are indicated by these flashing spikes along the edge of the arena. Just stay on your toes and try your best not to get hit. Improved dodge is going to be a godsend for this fight for how often you're going to need to be dodging. He will end this sequence with a ground AoE attack that covers the whole arena. Just dodge through it and you should be fine. Once this is over, Lucilius will come down and phase 1 will officially begin. The moves he used here will be prominent throughout the whole fight, so listen up. In this phase, he will always start with a gravitational pull move with a purple ball ring. My strategy for dodging this move specifically is to run away from it for a bit, and once you see the first ball hit the floor, dodge into him, since the balls will always fall starting from the center going outwards. Now Lucilius will rotate between that move and a few other skills. One of the skills is a small AoE sword slash skills that goes all around him. This skill also summons a few small purple AoEs on the ground, which you need to watch out for. Another one of the skills he uses is an almighty push-like skill that summons purple balls around him that will circle around him and move outwards. Another skill that he uses is a triple laser skill that he shoots, as well as a targeted red cross slash move that he does twice back to back. Another deadly skill that he uses is a large AoE slash skill he does around him. This skill's damage is very high and usually just outright one-shots any party members that are caught in it. He also summons purple crystals on the ground that can explode and deal massive AoE damage, so watch out for those and be ready to dodge. Notable mechanics in this phase is that before doing the triple laser or red cross skill, he will always target a single player. This player can be indicated by a red line that he used to mark the selected player. This small indication should give you enough time to either prepare a dodge or a guard, and if you're the teammate that's not targeted, be prepared to get the F away from him because you do not want to get caught up in that skill. The aforementioned large AoE sword skill can also be telegraphed by a small charge animation as well as a small pushback he does to everyone around him. There are actually two ways to dodge this skill. If you're melee, I suggest you dash forward or dodge into him as much as possible because there is actually a small area around him inside the attack that is safe. If you're ranged, then I suggest that you get back and avoid the whole situation entirely. Lucilius also tends to mix in a few normal attacks here and there that are usually a 2 to 3 swing sequence, and he also tends to teleport a lot too. This actually gives him a lot of mobility, so I suggest you be on your toes and ready to move at any time. Once you get him to overdrive, which will be around 80%, you are now done and on to the next cutscene. In this scene, Lucilius will cast 7 Trumpets. This move buffs him with 12 different effects and summons 4 different color circles on the ground. The goal of this part is to clear all the circles on the ground as fast as possible. You will have to clear one color at a time until all 4 are done by stepping on them. The color that you should be stepping on will light up while the others will have a musty purple aura around them. Failing to step on the appropriate color will result them into blowing up in your face and dealing damage to you. So your party here should try to spread out as much as possible so you can clear all the circles accordingly, or else you will be punished heavily later. The next mechanic you guys will have to do is to destroy feathers. Lucilius will spawn a whole bunch of balls with feathers in them that is undestroyable except for the ones that light up. He will light up 4 feathers around the arena at a time, and your goal is to break all 4 of them before they explode. He will fire lasers at you while you do this, so just dodge accordingly and you should be fine. He will repeat this 4 times, so at the end of it you should have destroyed 16 feathers in total. The final part of this is actually very simple. He will summon 3 swords that swing around and deal damage while Lucilius himself casts Hellfos. Your goal is to simply destroy the adds before he finishes the cast. Fairly straightforward. This is a good time to mention that your performance on completing these tasks will dictate how much max HP you have going into the next. If you were to partially fail to complete any of these tasks, he will cast a skill that will reduce your max HP by a certain percent. This could be fairly devastating as it may bring down your max HP to the point where a lot of these things are one-shotting you when they really shouldn't. If you successfully completed all these tasks, he's going to now come down and start casting Paradise Lost again. The only way to interrupt this is by doing a full SPA chain, so I hope your party has been saving up. On a successful full SPA chain, Sandolph will actually come join in to do a 5-part chain, which will interrupt this skill. If this does not occur, it is actually not a wipe, but you just have to dodge Paradise Lost again. He will now repeat the same moves he used previously in phase 1 until he's at 55%, which he's going to jump up and cast Celestial Fusion. If you made it this far, well done, you made it to phase 2. During this phase, I suggest your party to spread out as much as possible so you don't overlap, as well as to keep the slow puddles reasonably out of the way to help you dodge in the next attack. After that, he will summon 4 large beams that will target every player, as well as having large exploding orbs fall that you're going to have to either jump over or dodge through. And if that wasn't enough, at the end of this, he's going to drop a giant bomb in the middle that you're going to have to move out and then dodge. If you have any invincibility, mirage, or defense skills equipped, this will be a fantastic time to pop him, as it will make this whole sequence a lot easier to survive. If your party made it out alive after that, good news, you're nearing the end. Here, he's just going to rinse and repeat moves you already seen in phase 1, but occasionally he will try to cast Paradise Lost again. You can now interrupt this by simply breaking him, using a link move, or a single SBA. If he can't do that, well, he's just going to use it again, so I guess you have to dodge. He will cycle through these sequences, as well as maybe using the slow puddle beam sequence we mentioned earlier, depending on your team's DPS. If your DPS is high enough, it is possible to avoid the second slow puddle beam sequence, but it seems very unlikely. And at 10%, he's going to summon some swords and start casting the end. Kind of like the end of Bahamut. If this move goes off, you're done. So I suggest you just ignore the swords and focus on Lucilius. And if your DPS is good enough, congrats, you've cleared the final vision. The drops from this boss can be used to trade a serious shock for new power sigils, as well as other items that are hard to get. And that about wraps up this guide. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helped, and I hope to see you all again next time.